this is Ryan from Heavyocity. Today I'm going to walk you through the content and main features of Grid 2, a collaborative release from Heavyocity and Icebreaker Audio. It runs in the latest versions of Reaktor 5 or 6. Grid 2 is an 8-voice step sequencer that takes a unique approach to pattern creation, producing percussive and melodic sequences as well as unique playable instruments and effects. Grid 2 has two main modes of operation, sequenced and played, which you can access in the master section using the mode buttons. When in sequenced mode, the instrument syncs to your host tempo or to Reaktor's internal clock. You can set the playback rate, swing amount, and pitch in the master section. When you switch to played mode, Grid 2 becomes a playable instrument. You can set it to auto-cycle through the steps as you press each key, or use key switching to dictate which step is played. You can also offset the tuning and add glide for a portamento effect between notes. On the left screen, you'll find the main grid sequencer, where the y-axis represents the voices and the x-axis the steps of the sequence. To activate a step, click on a square. It will turn green to indicate the voice is being played. You can set the length of each voice's sequence by right-clicking and dragging. You can chain together up to 4 sequences by right-clicking on the pattern selector and activating the play button. The volume of each voice is controlled by the mixer to the right of the grid. The mixer also has a bypass button for each voice, which sends that voice straight to the output without being processed by the master effects. Before we dive into the sound shaping controls, keep in mind that you can turn on informational help text for each control by pressing the Info button on the top of the Reaktor window. This will provide pop-up descriptions as you mouse over each control. Now, let's get to it. The sound generated by Grid 2's voices is controlled primarily in the source window. The amplitude envelope offers simple attack and decay controls, as well as a scaling function. The scale knob is bipolar. When set to positive values, it shortens the decay times of the upper voices. When set to negative values, the decay lengthens in the upper voices. This scaling function is common throughout the instrument, enabling a high variance in timbre from lower to upper voices. The frequency panel offers 2 different modes to control the pitch of the voices. Harmonic mode, where the frequencies of the voices are spread by harmonic intervals, and melodic mode, where the frequencies of the voices are set by melodic scales and tunings. More information on the scales and tunings can be found in the Grid 2 manual. The pitch envelope panel allows you to control the decay time, intensity, and resolution of the pitch envelope. The ring modulator offers a classic ring modulation effect with frequency and amount controls. The oscillator panel controls the shape of the waveform generated by the voices. Hard left yields a pure sine wave, while hard right results in a sawtooth-like sound. A brightness knob affords further coloration of the waveform. The wave shape and brightness can also be scaled up through the voices. The feedback panel allows you to control the amount of the signal that is fed back into the input, including frequency modulation and oscillator sync. The modulation window allows you to modulate various parameters via 4 modulation sources, 2 sequences found in the Mod tab of the left screen, and 2 LFOs. Drop-down menus allow you to select the destination parameter of each modulator. The Master Effects window allows you to control the 2 master effects, a combination high-pass, low-pass filter, and a delay unit. The Output panel allows you to control the mix of the dry signal, composed of the voices that bypass the Master Effects module, and the wet signal, which contains the processed voices. There is also a width knob to add stereo spread, leveling via dynamics compression, and a soft clip limiter. On the right screen, you'll find the modulation matrix, where the y-axis represents the voice outputs while the x-axis corresponds to the voice inputs. Use this matrix to route the output of one voice back into the frequency modulation process of another. For example, here I am assigning the output of voice 1 to modulate the inputs of all the other voices. I'll also assign voice 2 to modulate itself. You can also include oscillator sync in the modulation process by engaging the sync button. The second tab on the right screen houses the bit designer, which allows you to manipulate the 8-bit data stream of each voice. The y-axis represents the voices, while the x-axis represents each bit from most significant to least significant. Engaging a square will either invert that bit or set it to 0, depending on the mode setting. Grid 2 comes with over 100 presets separated into programmed sequences and playable instruments, further categorized by sound quality. These showcase the wide range of sounds achievable in the world of Grid 2. Grid 2 is now available directly from Heavyocity.com.